think I'm giving up. You guys cannot recognize this art, and I cannot keep on trying to point at clay head statues and pulling out different gemstones and things with one hand while I hold this camera, spending all of my free time emailing archaeologists, emailing people who are supposed to be professionals in our state here in North Carolina to try to come out and just visit the site and see for themselves. They refuse to even do that. And I wonder why. Each one of these houses at this complex here, this development, start, at $300,000. They're not even great houses. They're like starter homes. $300,000 is what they start off at. We're in a housing crisis. So they're not going to bother with trying to save this. It doesn't really matter if every single rock out here is shaped like a heart, which are abstract bird effigies. Doesn't matter to them that we're destroying this. They've seen it before and they've done it before. They've taken these things out before. We did it throughout our whole history. This is a conquered country. These cities like Poverty Point and Cahokia, they had tons and tons of people at them before we ever came along. And then we got here and we put our faces on the rocks. Here I am, jumping up and down, waving my legs for more than a month now, since I've been able to recognize what's going on. And still nothing. Some people have tried to help, and thank you very much for that. But I'd like to remind you guys that the entire purpose for this channel and everything that I'm doing, all the artifacts that I'm showing, it's all to try to save this site. This isn't for my own personal gain. There's a bunch of sticks that are shaped like this. I don't know what they were, what they are, but there's a whole bunch of them that look exactly the same. There's some more over there. Maybe we'll find some more on the walk over here. I think that sometimes I even forget that that's what this is all about, because I'm stuck trying to show you guys how to see this ancient art in order to save the site. If nobody can recognize it, then nothing's going to ever be done about it. So I start the Eyes of the Ancients tutorial videos trying to show you guys how multifaceted old ass art works. I knew there was something going on, and when I'm kind of a unique person, when I find a puzzle, I try to figure it out. I enjoy doing that kind of thing. And so that's what I did. I sat out here and tried to figure this out. For 2.5, 3 weeks, I put all these little bird effigies on my table, trying to understand what they were. Why are they all shaped like birds? Why are they all shaped like a heart? I'm exhausted. I know you can hear it in my tone. I'm tired. I'm mad. This was a bird effigy site. We don't know anything about the Hopewell culture. We don't know anything about these ancient people who used to live here. And here's our chance. This is what a lot of people have been looking for. What are all these granite boulders doing out here in the city of Graham, North Carolina? This stuff has got to be from the Piedmonts or something. There's no reason for all this granite to be out here. This stuff doesn't just occur naturally out in this lowland area. Well, I'll tell you why. People brought them here. You see all these little checker marks on here? All these little hashes, crisscrosses? This is a statue of a person, eye and nose and the mouth. This is a human effigy, a large stone one. You're going to see several of them. The eyes are close to the edges of the face. The way that you look at them is from the side there. So Sorry, I'm shaking a bit because I am upset. I'm tired too. Tired of spending any bit of free time that I have showing you guys artifacts and showing you guys things in order just to get this site saved. Look for the eyes, look for the faces in these. They're everywhere. This one that's his nose and his carved out mouth there. And if we go up top, you'll see the ridge for his eye right there. It's right there, guys. There's another one right behind him. He's facing that way. That's his big cheekbone sticking out. They're everywhere. You see that round boulder right there. These are all face statues, totems, stone totems. We know what a totem pole is. Native Americans made totem poles, right? With lots of different images on them. Well, these are stone totems with lots of different images on them. No one knows what they look like yet because no one's ever been able to recognize it. I don't know why and how I've been able to. I try to explain that in my videos about how I found this, be able to see this stuff. It's painful to watch this all get just destroyed and ignored. You notice at least that these boulders, like there's no reason for this thing to be this flat. Look how flat that is. Varying by millimeters. This was man-made, human-made. All these are globes. Look at these giant globes. Sorry for my attitude. Definitely not going to win any support that way, but I am exhausted. I've been doing this for 2 months now. Really don't have that much of a great interest in this stuff. I just can't simply walk away while we ignore it all, though. I want some archaeologist to take over. Look at different things. Look at the colors. Look at just the outside raised section here. Duckbill, bird beak. It's not going to be like a cartoon character. It's not going to be anything that you've ever seen in your entire life. This is thousands of years old, before cell phones, before TV, before Mickey Mouse. It's not going to just be a smiley face. This is a culture that pre-Columbian, before Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. This is super old stuff. That's why it's hard to recognize. But trust me, when you see these, you're going to know at least something is going on. You guys are smart enough to know that you don't just get a bunch of flat-bottomed, head-shaped rocks naturally. It just doesn't happen naturally. And why are they all super flat like this? It just doesn't add up, right? Well, it's because they're face totems. It's because they're effigies made by some ancient people, some ancient culture that we know nothing about. And apparently we don't want to know anything about. Otherwise, our state archaeological teams would have been doing something about this. I'm going to run over to the mound. Since I got you guys here. And we're going to walk around it in what might be my final video of this site. I think that between the evidence that I've got at my house with the wooden bow and some of the larger totems, including all the small ones, and the little pocket effigies, they call them, I think I have enough evidence. And if we don't figure it out now, we'll figure it out later. And then maybe we can stop this kind of thing from happening in the future. So they don't just take all this stuff away from us without even knowing it. I mean, they didn't know. That's fine. I don't blame them. I didn't know either. I just knew they were odd. I knew I was digging out fire pits. I knew that when I found some really defined bird effigies that something was going on. And I left them on my kitchen table for 2.5 weeks. Tons of them, bird beaks, little crystal ones, painted stones. You got cardinals with like painted red feathers on them. You know, there's a mystery out here, and I figured it out that this was some type of worship site. And then I turn around and I see this huge flat top mound that's out here. Of course, even if the mound wasn't made by these ancient people, the Native Americans came to this place as well. We knew when the first colonizers came to America that the Native Americans there said that they were not the ones that made these mounds. These mounds have been around in America for thousands of years. We destroyed a lot of them during our colonization. We used to blow them up with dynamite and sell the artifacts within. Most of these mounds are burial sites. There are stone mounds in the woods right beside this mound. There's stone mounds all over America. Rock Eagle is one of them. Southeastern United States especially has tons of these types of mounds. This is a bird effigy site. Lots of V-shaped rocks which represent birds in flight, and lots of full birds. Lots of rocks that don't have any business being here. Flint rocks, cherts, painted rocks, painted faces on rocks. I've shown you those in my videos. Go back and look at them. When I first started this channel, I had, like 0 subscribers, right? Everyone starts at 0. I had a couple from my RX-7 stuff that I was doing. But now I've got 170. And I appreciate that so much. But the whole reason for this channel, the whole purpose for all this, is to show you guys that this is a site that needs to be saved. This is a clay pack on top of a head. This is a headdress, and it's a recessed face version. When you tilt them to the side, you can see those little lips poking out. And on the back of it, it's going to be a bird. All right? That's what's going on here. It's ancient art, abstract, unrecognizable by today's standards, apparently. This is a totem. This is an Easter Island style totem. This is his bottom of his face, and this is the top of the round head. He's got his little lips out there again. He's got his eye even carved in there, if you can see, and his nose right there. This is, if you think about Easter Island, this is that style totem. He's facing up to the sky. There's thousands of them. Huge megalithic statues. On top of this mound here, the deer have been sleeping, which I think is pretty cool. I climbed up there yesterday. Some more painted rocks. This one might have been broken, perhaps. Resembling bird beaks. Everything's going to be like a bird head or a bird beak. See how it's got the round head and the beak there? That's what these are. It's not gonna look like Woody Woodpecker. It's not gonna look like anything that you've ever seen before in your life, because this is some old stuff. You see this heart shape. These are all resembling birds. They're abstract birds. This ancient culture they had a style for making things. They didn't have TV, phones, cartoons, video, pictures. They didn't have paper. They barely had paint. They had the nature. That's all they had. They had nature. They lived in nature. They were nature. And that's what you learn when you start to see this type of art, is that these people were not of the world, of the earth. They were the earth. They survived in it. It was the provider for everything that they had. Everything that they knew was in nature. I'm gonna go head over to the other side of this mound, and I'm gonna show you the inside of it one more time. Cardinal head. If you've made it this long, thank you. Sounds like maybe someone cares then. All right, you see the houses are already starting to go up, which is fine. We need houses. This is a necessity. I think destroying this ancient mound that has a flat top is not a necessity though. I know that in the past, people have had to go through great lengths in order to save things like this. Teams of people had to do it. Email after email. Picketing. They had to do all kinds of things. Activist groups. No one here in the little town of Graham, North Carolina, has the time or ability or desire to do that. And how can I blame them? If you can't recognize half this stuff and it doesn't mean anything, then yeah, who cares, right? Who cares? I tell you, I care. I care enough to keep on doing this for 2 months. But at this point, this might just have to be something that I know about and that maybe people will figure out later on. And I'll continue to show the artifacts that I have. But as far as trying to keep on with this mound, keep on trying to get it saved, I'm just gonna have to find more mounds. Now that I know how to see this art, I can recognize these